I want to look to Britain's future a little bit longer than just the next few weeks or months. I visited one of my primary schools at the beginning of last week, and I asked the head teacher what it was that his Latin motto meant, and rather embarrassingly, he didn't know. And so I checked it out. It was munus prae. Now, I don't know how many Latin scholars there are here.
Jacob would know.
But he certainly
Jacob
would.
probably wrote it.
It's duty before rights. Now, yesterday, writing in The Observer, David Isaac, the chair of the Equality and Human Rights Commission, said that the challenge is to ensure we don't end up in the siloed world where everybody is sensitive about their own individual interests and less empathetic about how other people are treated. And what he's identified, I think, as the key issue is how we move beyond the I to the we. How do we think of ourselves as citizens who are not just focused on what works for me and my own narrow group? So the question, what is Britain's future? The question has two answers. A future based on I, or a future based on we. A future based on my rights, or a future based on my duties, my obligations. Now, my view is munus prae. Duties before rights. And about 35 years ago, I had the privilege to be taught philosophy by a man called John Rawls. And in his seminal work, A Theory of Justice, he set out a vision of justice as fairness that was practical and political rather than absolute and metaphysical. And any conception of political justice, he thought, had to rise to the challenge of pluralism and allow for a variety of sometimes conflicting ideas of what is good and right, and that they had to be able to be affirmed in a democratic society. So in the 60 seconds I've got remaining to me, I simply want to say that we're currently, I think, locked in a struggle between those who see their identities as rooted in place and class and a particular culture, and those who see their identities as fluid and global and culturally open, like the heavens. Look, I think our politics no longer exists in that post-war consensus around a welfare state, and certainly not in a society of a shared belief in God or a shared belief in loyalty to the crown. And I don't hanker after those days, but I recognize that they provided a glue which bound people together. And in order to achieve social stability, politics has to enable individual citizens to come together in shared public institutions. Individual citizens, each who may have a different conception of what it is to live a good life. Yet when they come to participate in those public institutions now, they don't find their sense of self-worth affirmed. On the contrary, they often find their beliefs traduced and their identity rejected. And whether we're talking about creationist parents not wanting their children taught about evolution, or anti-abortionists attacking doctors in the health service, or just elderly couples living in a street where the language spoken is no longer their own. In our society, we have not yet developed a civic discourse that is able to rise to the challenge of pluralism. And I think that that goes to the heart of the Brexit dilemma. If each of us engages with our fellow citizens first by insisting upon our rights, what we believe is owed to us, then I suspect we never will develop that discourse. If, on the other hand, we start with our own obligations to our fellow citizens, if we go back to the primary school motto, duty before rights, then perhaps we will. And that is the sort of future for Britain that I want to see.
For more debates, talks and interviews, subscribe today to the Institute of Art and Ideas at IAI TV.